Good afternoon, Guardians. My name is the Black Link. Welcome back. We are here to talk about the Revelry, the incoming spring event for Destiny 2. Today we got a very quick, almost 40-second video kind of showing what we'll be doing in the Revelry. And from what we've learned, it looks like it's going to be very similar to the Festival of the Lost event we had last year. It's got its own infinite forest-based activity titled the Verdant Forest. There's going to be new emotes, new cosmetics, new bounties, new quests, and even a brand new exotic. All of which were shown off in this video. So we're going to play that video in its entirety right here just in case you haven't gotten a chance to see it, and then we'll come back and talk a bit more about some of the things we've learned about the Revelry. Hope you enjoy.
Welcome to the Revelry, my friend. You Guardians must never forget the power of joy. Revel in being alive. Break some rules. And most of all, have fun.
So, first things first, Ava Levante is back, and I don't know how she works her magic, but she has got the tower looking something kinda special. This is of course going to be a spring event, and there's plenty of green all over the place, very pretty. But we learned that the Revelry is going to be starting on April 16th and going until May 6th. This is going to be an activity and event that is available to all Destiny 2 players, presumably whether you own Forsaken or not. And right off the bat, we get a great look at some of the new cosmetic gear we'll be able to go for, probably from Eververse, within the Revelry event itself. There's a couple of brand new emotes, and then we get to see the Arbalest, the new kinetic linear fusion rifle that has as of yet been unobtainable within the game. When update 2.2.1 came out, it was pretty much data mined that this was going to be tied to the Revelry event itself, and that seems to have been confirmed here. We get a couple of great shots of the Arbalest, how it's going to work. As you can see here, it kind of behaves a bit like a railgun, charging up before firing a single slug round. We can actually see some of this gun's abilities within the database right now. Of course, by heading over to our trusty light.gg, you can actually look up the Arbalest and the abilities that are tied to it. It's got a very special intrinsic ability titled Compounding Force. Fires slugs that cause massive damage to elemental shields of enemy combatants, and this is tied in with its special trait, Disruption Break. Breaking an enemy's shield with this weapon makes them more vulnerable to kinetic damage for a brief period. So when you use the Arbalest to blow up a shield, those enemies become more vulnerable to kinetic damage, meaning you can hit them with a super powered shot afterwards. It's definitely an interesting ability, and it sounds like it'll have a pretty powerful effect out in the world space. But how exactly are we going to be getting our hands on the Arbalest? Well, that's been data mined as well, at least partially. It looks like you'll be able to purchase this exotic linear fusion rifle directly from Ava Levante with about 300 of a still classified currency. This currency, whatever it is, appears to be earnable by completing Revelry bounties, which will be tied to completing activities within the Verdant Forest activity, which is going to be kind of like the Haunted Forest activity from the Festival of the Lost, as well as completing objectives in other activities like Gambit and PvP. You can actually find a lot of these classified bounties over on light.gg as well, so if you want to see the kind of things you're going to be getting into when the Revelry starts, be sure to check that out. There'll be links to all of this stuff down in the description box below. Additionally, of course, Bungie put up a blog article talking more about the Revelry event itself, giving more details to the Verdant Forest and the kinds of things you'll be doing in there. And while it is going to be very similar to the Haunted Forest, they state that the objective is to clear as many rooms as possible. The more space you clear, the more time you'll have to defeat the onslaught of 5 bosses and claim your rewards. And of course, that specifically, the Revelry is going to offer you an opportunity to feel more powerful in more activities. And this is going to be done via the use of the Revelers Tonic. This is a brand new mechanic that was introduced in the blog article for the Revelry. And when the event goes live, when you first visit the tower, Ava Levante will grant you a Revelers Tonic. Fill your tonic with Revelers Essence by killing bosses in the Verdant Forest or completing other activities. 3 different tonics will reduce the cooldowns of your grenades, melees, or class ability. You'll be able to choose which buff you prefer and let the sparks fly. which is definitely in and of itself a really interesting concept. Having this tonic that you can make to reduce your cooldowns in basically every activity except private matches is gonna make for a wild week in game modes like Gambit and even PvP. So basically, as you're playing the Verdant Forest activity and taking down bosses, you're gonna earn that essence, and then you can use that essence with your Revelers Tonic to power yourself up. And some of the armor sets that we'll be earning throughout the Revelry are going to help you power up even further. They go on to state that every piece of inaugural Revelry or vernal growth armor you equip, the more potent the tonic will be. The powerful effect applies to every activity in the game except private matches. Revelers will even be more dangerous in the Crucible. So I hope you Guardians are ready to see an awful lot of grenades and melees being thrown. But that's not the only change that's happening. During the course of this event, everywhere else in the game, orbs have the chance of being generated by precision kills. So you should be seeing more supers across the board as well. The armor sets that you can earn over the course of the Revelry will of course drop from Eververse, I do believe that's the Vernal Growth set, and the inaugural Revelry armor will drop from defeating bosses in the Verdant Forest activity. The more bosses you defeat, the greater your chances to receive a drop. Ava's also going to have 5 weekly bounties that will award inaugural Revelry armor as a powerful drop. And like I said before, each piece of the set that you equip is going to boost the effect of your Revelers Tonic. Now additionally, you can also turn in the Revelers Essence that you'll get from defeating bosses and completing bounties within the Revelry, in exchange for packages containing assorted rewards including world drops, enhancement cores, and ornaments for the inaugural Revelry event. And it will also be that hidden currency that you can utilize to purchase the Arbalest from Ava herself. So make sure you're out there completing bounties and taking on bosses within the Verdant Forest if you want to get your hands on that exotic weapon. But there we go, Guardians, we now know what the Revelry contains. It's going to have its own very special activity, very akin to the Haunted Forest activity if you don't remember what that was. Basically, it was a special matchmaking version of the Infinite Forest where you kind of ran through, defeated as many enemies as you could before taking on a boss within a set period of time. It's going to be interesting to see if they bring that exact model back for the Revelry, with just a bit of a change of scenery in there. There's going to be new armor, new emotes, new cosmetics, and all of that kind of stuff to earn. We're going to have special Revelry bounties, as well as a very special Revelry quest. And of course, we've got the brand new exotic kinetic linear fusion rifle, the Arbalest, tied to the Revelry as well. This is going to be an event that is all about experiencing the power of joy. And I hope it definitely brings a bit of joy to some of you Guardians. Anyways, the Revelry will be starting next week on April 16th and going until May 6th. Make sure you're there to get the new rewards. But alright, that's it for this wrap-up video. Thank you Guardians so much for watching. How do you feel about the Revelry? Are you excited to head back into a Haunted Forest type activity? That was personally something I really loved from the Festival of the Lost last year. I kind of wanted it to be its own sort of permanent game mode, so I'm happy that they're bringing it back with another event. And I don't mind them putting a fresh new, coat of paint over it. But alright, I am out for now. Thank you all so much for watching. And as always, I am the Black Link. You Guardians, stay frosty.